welcome. We are so excited that you're joining us for our webinar today on Canva and how industry pros are using Canva and PartySlate to close business. So I think we're going to give it maybe a minute or two to let everyone join on. But in the meantime, I would love to see in the chat from people on where you're dialing in from. I feel like it's always fun to see. And Madison and Bella and I were just talking about holiday season travels, whether we're staying local or getting away. I see we have LA, San Francisco, Salt Lake City. Oh, we have Mexico. That's where I wish I was going for the holidays. I will be local here in Chicago also, especially this time of the year. Okay, we have a lot of Chicago, South Carolina. So fun. Lots of places. I love always, we have Germany, so we are not only international within the continent, but we are international into other continents too, and Finland. It's really, really fun to see where everyone's dialing in from. And I think Madison and Bella, how often are you guys using Canva? Because I feel like there's so much excitement for this webinar because so many industry pros use Canva on a pretty regular basis. How often are you guys in it?
Every day.
Same.
Every
We are the same. I would say 95% of the things that we're building out visually, maybe even 100% are in Canva
Mhm.
constantly, at least like two tabs open.
Yep. I'm along with you there, Bella, because I have, I think, probably four or five open right now, just with different designs and templates that we're working on right now.
Pretty incredible. I feel like as someone who is a non-designer, Photoshop, Adobe, I know there's really advanced tools out there, but they are so hard to navigate if you're not that technical designer background. And Canva is incredible. I mean, I've used it, obviously here at Party Slate, we use it. And then also for personal things, I've used it too. And it is really incredible the types of things that you're able to design with it. I think this will be a great session for everyone. All right, I think people are slowing down. So why don't we get started? I would love Madison Bella for you two to just do a quick intro about yourselves, and then I can do a quick introduction about myself, and then also introduce Party Slate before we dive into some questions for you two. So Madison, why don't we start with you with just a quick intro about yourself and your business?
Yeah. My name is Madison. I am the founder and creative director of Kutcher Events. We are a Philly-based planning and design firm. Really kind of open to helping couples up and down pretty much the East Coast and anywhere that kind of well, they'll take us, but it's kind of like a little brief about me.
Oh, and then Bella, how about you?
Yes, I am the director of marketing for On the Mark events. So we are a full service caterer based in the tri-state area, but we do service a lot of the Northeast outside of the tri-state area as well. And then we also sort of own and operate two venues within the area and operate at different exclusive partners and venues that we work with frequently.
I'm really pumped to have both of you guys on this call because I think between, catering, venue, planner, I mean, there's so many different unique ways that you guys are using Canva, which I think will be relevant for so many people on this call. And, I saw a few familiar names in the Zoom chat, but for anyone who I don't know, my name is Lillian. I work at PartySlate. I'm our SVP of operations. And we're really excited to be sharing more with you today about PartySlate, how you can use it to manage your photos, and specifically how it'll help you when it comes to using Canva. So before we dive in, though, I kind of want to do a survey of the crowd. So you can pull up your phones. There's a QR code right at the top left corner, and I'm curious to see who do we have who do we have here in the audience? And it's kind of fun because it'll live update as people start filling out. All right, we have a planner. Okay, we got some numbers are coming in. I know sometimes people are hesitant to pull out their phones on something, but this is one of those times where I love it. I love knowing who's out there. We have a lot of planners. It looks like venues and caterers. Okay, this is perfect between Madison and Bella. We have great experience that I think will be relevant for all here. All right, maybe I'll give this another 5 seconds and then we will move on. All right, I think numbers are kind of slowing down a little. We have some design and floral, other All right, lots of good. Okay, a pretty good mix, honestly, between planners, venues, caterers, and then a few other categories as well. All right, so with that, if you haven't heard of PartySlate before, PartySlate is a platform that helps you transform idle content into a discovery and growth engine. And there's a few different ways that we do that. I'll share with you both. And so one way is what's here on the right-hand side. You'll see this is a public facing profile page where it empowers you to utilize your content and have it essentially do work for you. So this is a way in which you can be listed on our website, and our platform does just drive discovery, trust, and inquiries. A few stats that we're really proud of is that we've had 4.7 million visitors in the last 12 months, 2.5 million photos that have been uploaded. And when it comes to the people that are coming onto PartySlate, it is a pretty even split between social and corporate. So you do see a lot of different variety when it comes to the type of business that's being done on PartySlate. So that all I like to call the front of house method. And then we do also have back of house tools. So we call this PartySlate Pro. And of course, I'd like to say we're here to help in three ways because we also do have a support team, which is the team that I run, where when you're joining PartySlate, it is more than just a website. There is actually a human on the other side who will help you, who will assist you, answer any questions. That's a person who's with you along your entire journey here as a PartySlate member to help make sure you're getting the most out of your PartySlate products. And so what we've heard from you, and the reason why we've really built out a lot of those private back of house tools is because we've heard a lot of different things when it comes to photo management. And I'm sure that's why a lot of people are on the call today, because you're trying to figure out, how do I actually leverage all my content? How do I use it within Canva? How do I make sure that my content is doing the work for me and actually helping me close business? So what we've heard, we've talked to a lot of customers, our product team has talked to a lot of people, and what we've heard consistently is that finding and sharing the right photos when you need them is incredibly challenging. There's a lot of different points along the sales process where you are constantly pulling from photos, whether it's putting together a proposal, whether it's preparing for a client meeting, whether it's if you're a venue, you have a client who's in on site and you're on a venue tour and you have to help them envision what that space looks like set up instead of that blank slate canvas that you have. There's a lot of different ways that people are currently storing photos, but consistently what we've heard is that in that minute when you need it, you're searching and searching and searching, and it is so hard to figure out where it is that right photo is. You know it in your brain, you can see it, but you can't just pull it in 2 seconds. And so the private tools that we've built, the back of house tools, are really focused on helping improve that experience. It's built to help you privately store, search, and share all of your event photos all in one place. What that means is that you don't have to scramble for photo examples anymore. There's no more awkward when you're in that client meeting. Wait, give me a second. Let me scroll on my phone. Try and find that one photo. You're scrolling forever. There's no more of that. You can find the right photo that you need in 2 seconds. There's also no more disorganized Dropbox folders. I've seen it. I think everyone here knows exactly what I'm talking about. You are, I like some people call it dumpster diving when they're looking for a specific folder because you know it's in there somewhere. You forget exactly what year it is that the couple got married, or you forget what the couple's name was. And so you're clicking into multiple different folders looking for that one photo. And of course, PDFs and Google Slides can tend to get really messy. And that's where I think Canva will, in particular, be a really useful tool that I'm sure a lot of people on this call have some sort of familiarity with on just making it cleaner, making it aesthetically more pleasing, and having everything just much more organized and easy to access. So with that, let me actually show you how it works because I am a visual person. So I'm going to start with the front of house first and just showing you that consumer's typical journey. And so let's say I am a new bride living in New York and I want to plan a wedding. So I would probably type in top venues in New York. Let's see what comes up. So our directory is often listed in the first or second search results in that Google search. And I'm scrolling down, maybe let's just take the plaza here. Maybe I'm interested in the plaza. So this is all public facing. This is exactly where that consumer would land. When we talk about the two different ways that PartySlate is helping you leverage your content, this is one of the ways. And it's really been designed by our product team to feature the real events that you have done. We know that people are visual. We know that when they're deciding whether or not they want to learn more about your business, they want to see actual photos of what the space looks like set up and what other real events look like. So these are, there's a section here under gallery where you can actually upload additional real events. So you can story tell the full story of what these events look like. And then I also want to show back of house. On the right-hand side, there is a way where you can click in to access your pro features. And these are only tools that you and your team can see. So this is not consumer facing. No one publicly can access any of this except for who is on your team. And let's say, let's talk about that need to pull content right away, maybe for a proposal, for example. Let's say you're at the plaza and you have someone who's coming in and is awed by your staircase. Let me just type in staircase. And within 2 seconds, you now have honestly like tens, maybe hundreds of staircase photos that have all just pulled up. The way that this works, it's all AI powered. So there was no tagging that was done. There is no manual work that had to be, where you had to go through, tag staircases. I'd love to see in the chat actually for anyone who has gone through that process and actually had to tag photos, because I've heard from people how much time that can take, especially when it comes to sorting and organizing your photos. You don't have to do that anymore. It is all AI powered. And it's because in this example, all of these photos are on PartySlate being privately stored. And when you type in staircase, it goes right there. We can even do more specific searches. Let's say staircase flowers. Maybe the couple really wants to see what a floral setup would look like, and it gets even more specific. From here, you can also, let's say you're on a venue tour. Someone mentioned they love the staircase. They really love also these floral photos. You know that you need to send a follow-up email to them with some visual examples. You can actually now just within the app, within the website, click for some photos that you really enjoy on the staircase. This one is gorgeous. And easily click share and create a share link. I'll just call it staircase examples. Create a share link, and I'm going to preview. And in 5 seconds, you just create an easy share link. And this is an external share link that you can easily share with anyone. And it has a beautiful slideshow view as well, so people can easily see. And of course, though, I know what we're all here to talk about is our Canva integration. So we recently just launched a Canva integration. I think it's been out for maybe a month or two, and people are so excited about it. So we're really excited to share more about this here. And what the integration empowers is that you can now access all of your PartySlate photos within Canva. And this search and share experience that I just showed you, along with, these filters, you can filter for only weddings, or maybe you only want to see only mitzvahs, for example. You can now actually filter specifically for all of these within Canva. So I want everyone who doesn't have Canva and PartySlate already integrated. I want to show you how to do it. It takes 2 seconds. And in the chat, actually, what I'm going to ask for is Tara, who's on our marketing team. She's going to drop a link into the chat. And anyone who doesn't have Canva and PartySlate already integrated, you can click that link and I'll show you exactly how to go through and integrate it. It takes literally 2 seconds. So I'm going to click this link. It'll click launch. But also let me know if anyone's having issues getting in. And hopefully Tara's been able to send out that link. So I just clicked, actually, let me just go back. So I'm going to click launch. And then right here, you'll see a window popped up that says PartySlate. You can click open and then click connect again. I'm going to click allow access. And now all my photos from PartySlate are just automatically pulled in. Took 2 seconds. And it does include private photos as well. So we have some company headshots that we just uploaded in privately under a private folder. Everything pulls in. And the filters are available here as well. So like I said, maybe there's a specific album that I want to pull photos from. Maybe I want to pull photos from our West Coast event. I'm going to filter for it, click apply, and now only those photos are showing up. Maybe I want to do something for social media. I can click portrait, click apply, and now only portrait is showing up. So there's a lot of different ways that you can control exactly what the filters are. I'm going to clear all, and then let's say I'm searching for, I don't know, maybe like a red carpet photo, because I know we have some red carpet photos. If I search red carpet, now all of our red carpet photos are pulling up. And that's that AI powered search. That's exactly the same experience as what you have in PartySlate Pro. Okay, with that, I'm gonna go back. I'm just gonna make sure I'm checking the chat, making sure that if there's any questions. Okay, someone asked, can you do it again one more time with the steps from the beginning? So I can certainly, let me just show everyone the steps from the beginning. If you go to that link, click launch. And then, oh, I think mine might already be integrated, but you can just click, there should be on the left-hand side, a bunch of places that say connect, connect. And if you click through, it'll connect you up. You do have to have your PartySlate account and you have to be logged into your PartySlate account as well. If there are any questions, please send it in the chat. Our amazing Tara is on the chat and she will answer any questions as well. All right, and then another question, I always like to poll the crowd so that we can make sure that these conversations are useful for everyone. If you could pull out your phone and answer this Slido question again, the survey question, but what do you primarily create with Canva? I'm curious. Maybe we give it a second or two. And Bella and Madison, I'd love to hear what you two are creating with Canva as well. All right, we have many proposals, mood boards, menus, social media. Actually, not a lot of email graphics and floor plans, it looks like. Proposals and mood boards seem to be the clear winners, with proposals as the clear winner. And if right now you don't create anything with Canva and you're here to learn how to use Canva, that is also great too. I think everyone here will walk away with a few new learnings on how you can be better at leveraging Canva for all these different types of tools. Okay, now with that, I would love to have Bella and Madison maybe share a few things about how each of them use Canva in their day to day. I know that both of them said that they use Canva literally on a daily basis, probably multiple times a day. And so why don't we start with Bella, with you? I'd love to hear, how are you using Canva in your day to day?
Yes, so we are constantly in Canva. We use it for client proposals, RFPs that we get. We'll use it for event signage. We create any menus in there as well, social media. Our email newsletter, we just started formatting some graphics in there as well, and then move that into our emails. So it really is all encompassing, and we use it. It's really easy for our sales team as well to maybe make a tweak to something. We create any venue decks in that. So that's really crucial for us managing the different spaces. I think that honestly, there's probably more, but those are big ones for us.
Bella, I love what you said, and that the sales team can also use it. And so that these marketing assets don't have to just live in marketing. You're actually able to get leverage on your own time because Canva is so easy to use, even for someone who's not a designer, not a marketing guru, that, it's really great because your whole team is able to actually then take control of the marketing assets, whatever their needs are.
Yeah, it's very collaborative, and it's just nice to be able to comment and tag somebody. They know that there's something there for them to look at, sharing the documents and just getting everybody's eyes on things for approvals. It makes a lot of the process easy.
Yeah. Then Madison, how about yourself?
I mean, I feel like it's kind of similar to what Bella was saying, but we use Canva for all of our, like daily workflows. So whether we are working on things like potential proposals for clients, or we're building a style guide for any of our current clients, anything and everything, we use it for. All of our really like back of house, brand materials, we end up using that as well. Even things for like our SOPs, everything that we do, we make sure that we're creating it on brand, and Canva allows us to do that. So, because we have our brand kit set up, so like in Canva, you're able to put all of your brand colors in there, your logo, you're able to have everything that's pretty much like set and ready to go. So when you're building things like a proposal, since I know many of you are using it for proposals, it makes it so easy. It allows you, I feel like, to, have just like that instant ability to kind of like export any of those designs that like what we do, or even repurpose any of those designs, especially for things like proposals. It's just a really just a huge time saver for us when it comes to any of our, brand or like marketing materials.
I think the two things I heard from both of you that really stand out is that it enables people beyond just the two of you to make assets, control assets. And there's a question in the chat, Jessica asked, is Canva for proposals efficient and easy to train coworkers to use? Because she's saying she's right now using Publisher and thinking about what she should be switching to instead. So I think ease of use is something that is definitely on her mind. So I'm curious for you two, as you think about leverage, having other team members be able to come in here and leverage Canva. How was that experience to train people on how to use it?
I would say it's pretty straightforward. I feel like a lot of the tools you've seen before in, if it's Microsoft Word, like how to adjust your text and size. It's very easy for people to get in there. And I think it's really easy for people to use the marketing assets, which just makes everything easier to stay on brand. It's not like they have to go search to find our brand fonts or logos so just having those things in one place and tools that are easy to use just makes it that much faster for everyone.
Yeah, again, pretty much like what Bella was saying, for us, we have a proposal template placed into Canva. And because everything is set up in there with the exact typography, the colors, the general, I feel like guidelines of what we'd put into a proposal for somebody. It really just comes down to changing, the verbiage, maybe adding a little bit more in there, taking some out, right? So depending on what we're offering to a specific client, that's really what's going to change, nothing else. Every now and then, if it's for something like, and we'll kind of, I feel like, get into this a little bit more like later, but we'll swap out some of the photos that are in our proposals because maybe this centerpiece will align a little bit better with what they were saying during that call. So I feel like you're really able to create a custom document that is, that aligns with your brand, but also aligns with that client's vision as well. So that's kind of, I feel like the easiest like format for it. And any of my like planners can hop into Canva, into any design and kind of collaborate in like that real time. So it really kind of helps move projects along, like getting out those proposals in, a very efficient manner.
Yeah, I love that. It's customizable, collaborative, just kind of makes the whole business operate much smoother. There's some other questions in the chat that I want to make sure I answer. So I saw someone asked, is there any Jen asked, are there any storage limits for photo uploads to PartySlate? There are no storage limits right now. And so for anyone who's a member, you take advantage, upload whatever you want and whatever you can into PartySlate. There are two different ways that you can upload just to note for everyone. You can either choose to make it public, which will put it on your profile, or if you toggle it off, it will stay as private storage. And so I just want to call that out. So as you think about putting content on, whether you want to have it stay private or make it public. The second question, someone did ask, do you have to have a Canva account to use this through PartySlate? So you do have to have a Canva account, but this does work if you have a free Canva account. So you do not have to have a paid Canva account. It works with free as well. Someone also asked, are there any PartySlate templates in Canva or ones that you recommend? We do have a recommended set of templates. What I will do is after this call, we'll make sure to send a follow-up email to everyone who is on this call with a few recommended Canva templates, because I can appreciate that it can feel a little overwhelming. It's such a powerful tool. There's so many things that you can do with it. Just having that one starting spot can just make it feel a little bit easier. And you can always take it and customize it into whatever it is that you actually need for your business. There's so many ways that you can adjust. And then one last question. I love that people have so many questions. I want to make this interactive. And so this is perfect. Everyone keep asking your questions in the Slack. Someone asked, if we upload photos to PartySlate and Canva, do other people outside of our company have access to using it too? So if you keep it private, no one else can see it. It is only private for your team. If you choose to publish it, you have the choice of tagging your vendors, your your partners on it. And so let's say Madison, maybe you planned an event where Bella on the mark was the catering company. Madison could upload those event photos, make it public on her profile, and tag on the mark as the caterer. And then Bella would be able to see those photos too. But that's only possible if one, those photos are published in public, and second, if someone is tagged as a vendor credit. So if they haven't worked on an event, no one's going to be able to see it. Hopefully that answers your question, Lily. And this is recorded, so it'll be available for anyone to view later. All right, with that, Madison and Bella, I'd love to understand. So I think you talked a little bit about the different categories of what you're doing, whether it's menus, whether it's venue decks, whether it's proposals. I'd love to know specifically with those designs, what do you find yourself always creating, going back to on the most frequent basis? And how do you see those designs impacting your business? Whether it's Madison, you helping to close a bride, a new client, or Bella, whether it's your sales team helping them to close business faster. Madison, why don't we start with you?
Okay, now I'm off mute. I thought I was still muted. I mean, really, it's our proposals then. If it's going to be something that's really driving client booking, it's our proposals. Every touch point we have with a potential client, we make sure, whether it's on like Instagram or during a proposal, it's branded perfectly. It represents who we are, what we want to put out into the world. Because they're seeing things on Instagram that represent us, and then now seeing a beautiful document in Canva, well, that's sent to them, that we've made in Canva. We're able to kind of build that trust there. And because we have these, templates that allow us to basically just change the verbiage when needed, and kind of like put in, okay, say they're wanting to do full scale planning versus a partial planning or a wedding management, right? Like we're able to kind of change out those little details there while still having majority of that information that we would typically include in a proposal remain. So it really does allow us to kind of expedite that process, but still maintain our brand consistency throughout everything that we're doing. And I feel like that ultimately, allows them to kind of have a great experience, right? Because then, from the very beginning, they're seeing the visuals on Instagram. They're seeing it come through in our proposal that we've made beautifully in Canva, and now they're having a great experience with us because we're telling them, okay, we can get this proposal to you in the next few days, right? But ideally, right, like we're kind of under promising, over delivering essentially, right? We're getting it out in 1 to 2 days versus 3 to 4. And I feel like that makes them, a client feel like they are appreciative, that they are at the forefront of like what we are, doing. So, yeah, I think that kind of helps with the booking process because we're able to stay on top of things.
I love that you said it helps to expedite the process, because I think anyone who's on this call at the end of the day is probably, you're in sales of some sort, whether you are a small business owner or whether you're literally on the sales and marketing team. And one of the things that I always like to keep in mind is that it's all about speed. So much of it is being that first email back in someone's inbox or that first response. It builds that trust, to your point, Madison. It makes them feel like you're reliable, makes them feel like you care about them. But creating custom proposals takes time, right? Like you have to put thought and energy into it. And so any of these tools and workflows that you have to make that custom feeling still happen without it taking a whole week to make it happen, that's really going to impact your business.
Yeah, and one more thing, sorry. I feel like it is a faster process, right? But you're still being very intentional with everything that you're doing. Because then I feel like it kind of starts to lose like that feeling of custom, right? Like you still put in all of like the little details in there. Like we'll do these little paragraphs about what we heard about them during our discovery calls. And I feel like those small little like nuggets here and there, kind of make it feel more custom outside of what our brand is, that we kind of, push through everything.
Yeah, I love that. Good call out. And then Bella, what about you? What are the designs that you feel like are being used most often? How do you feel like it's impacting your business?
I mean, I have to back up on the proposals. Those are really, really crucial for our team. And I think not only when we're working with clients, but also when we're looking at venue specific events that we're doing, just being able to customize a venue deck based on the event types, swap in photos, and then the same thing would go for, any catering proposals that we put together. If they're thinking, oh, we want roaming food and we want it to be interactive, just being able to easily access those things gives us also more time to focus on those customizing details because we're not so stressed about pulling an entire proposal together. We have that base outline, those base slides that are about us and who we are, but then we can really, really dive into the customization part for the clients and make them feel heard. I think more than anything, people want to feel like, oh, you get me, and I think, and being able to build it out and then put in those specific details, like Madison was saying, just makes them feel heard, makes them feel understood, and like they can trust you, you have their back, and you know what their vision is.
Yeah, I'd love to hear from both of you. I mean, I think the clear thing that I'm hearing is that it's that customization, wanting to make sure that whoever it is that's on the other side feels like they're being understood. What are you doing within that proposal to make it feel custom to them and their needs specifically?
Well, I think one of the things that we do is obviously hearing from our sales team what types of things they're looking for, almost what the vibe of the event is. Do they want it really formal? Do they want it to be more casual and laid back, like taking those nuggets and then putting that into the proposal and really calling out to them and making it clear that we heard you want this and this is why it's in here. Just pointing that out to them, talking it through that process and giving them that background of like, this is why we chose this, package for you, or think that this specific item on the menu would be really great. You love lobster rolls. Like we made sure that that was in the past hors d'oeuvres that we're doing. And it just, I think just makes a big impact and makes people feel like you're paying attention and will execute well.
Yeah, and Bella, do you think your sales team, when they're putting together that proposal using that template, do you think they're pulling specific images out of past work that you guys have done with an example, this is what a lobster roll looks like. You said you love lobster rolls.
Absolutely. I mean, just this morning, I'm not even kidding. I came in and we had a request from a client to look at the chocolate truffles that we do. And so easily I'm able to go in, pull our desserts, make sure I have the right ones, and send those to our production team, our sales team, because you get requests like that throughout the process when they're finalizing a menu. It might not just be at the top when you're sort of sorting out, if they want to move forward with you, it's further down when they're making those decisions and you want to be able to give them context. So, yeah, we frequently are using that search and share. And it's been really huge for our production team, our sales team, having access to those things so that it's not, constantly having to go through our team, slowing down that response time. They can be on it.
Yeah, that's amazing. So your sales team is actually going in there searching themselves lobster rolls as an example. And they're like, okay, great. I don't have to go through Bella on our market, who runs
Yes.
marketing anymore. And it's saving you time so that you can focus on other projects too.
Right. Well, they also know that most of the photos in PartySlate we would approve, like not we would
Of
want them
course.
publicly
Right.
shared. And so it just makes it that much easier for them to access. And I think, as long as they have the time to do that, sometimes they just like to ask me, but I think they just want to work with me. So sometimes I will pull it for them, but it just makes it easier for them to even take a peek and then maybe run it by me as opposed to me having to go into the system to pull it. It just makes it really smooth.
I love that. I mean, in this industry, the hours are crazy. We all wear so many different hats. And I think any place where you can find yourself saving time, the better. And Madison, how about you? I'd love to hear how you are thinking about just like customizing. What is it that you're doing with those really customized proposals that your team's putting together specifically?
Yeah, I mean, it really starts at our discovery call. So we do get to know a lot about a potential client. We get to learn about, like their personalities, probably a little bit more than what most do. We get to learn about their vision for the day, what's most important to them, what do they not want to see. And that way, when we begin our proposal, we always have a kind of like a paragraph or two description um, of what to expect for their day, right? When working with us. I had a client recently that, the two of them during their discovery call, they were saying, I really love art. We love art. They're getting married in an art museum. And they really wanted to, let that be kind of like at the forefront of their wedding day. But outside of just art in general, another really important aspect for their day was that they wanted their guests to feel like they were important. They wanted their guests to have a great experience. So, we wrote a little bit about, what that guest experience might be like, maybe touching on all those five senses, right? Like good food. So, great taste with like the food that they're eating, like hearing, great sound. So from the entertainment, comfort, really. I mean, feel of the chairs, the smell of like what's around them, whether that's coming from food, whether that's coming from any of the florals, right? So we kind of really tap into anything that we can basically think of when writing that description about what their day might be like based off of the things we discussed during their discovery call. And then we put that into their proposal. We also make sure that, every like their name is kind of throughout. I know, and that's something little, right? But I also feel like that's time that's taken to make sure, that everything is just the way it's supposed to be. We write little messages in there as well outside of, what their day might be like. We also write a thank you in there from us. And it's always changing, right? Like that thank you, yes, it starts out as just a template there, but we add into that as well because every reason there's every client call is different and we want to say what we're thankful for the time with them, right? Not just like, oh, thanks for your time, have a good day, type of thing. So those are like the some of the little things that we do to kind of like make that feel a bit more custom. And outside of just like a lot of people, I feel like use different platforms that have like you can input, okay, full scale planning. This is what's included, right? But we kind of take it to that next level of, okay, this is what full scale planning is. Then you kind of go on to the next page, and everything is really detailed about like what will be included in that. But it's in, a specific color. It's in the right typography, right? It's in all of the things that align with our brand, so it doesn't feel like they could have gotten that proposal from somebody else. And even outside of proposals, right? Like our email signatures, we create them in Canva as well. That's something little, but it's still something that represents like who you are as a brand, and it's something that's really easy to do within Canva to create that design. Um, yeah, it's kind of how we kind of make some of those like more custom, like feeling or touch points throughout like somebody's experience.
Feel like what's clear to me for both of you is that you're both such brand experts, clearly from just the way that you're talking about just consistency across every single touch point, whether it's the proposal, the email signature, social media, and it really stands out. And I would love to know from both of you too, how the PartySlate Canva integration has made it easier for you to find photos and actually create that proposal or showcase the types of different food setups. What does that experience look like for both of you with utilizing the actual integration? Madison, maybe I'd love to hear from you first.
Yeah. Um, It is, I feel like just a massive time saver. So I know that you demonstrated it through like the PartySlate platform, but on Canva, since you're able to pretty much do the exact same thing in like the search bar, it's super helpful for us when we are building style guides or even like before the style guide, the mood board, because there are a lot of clients that we're working with that think that they know what their vision is for the day of, I want this, garden bouquet, right? Like they have this vision, but then they see it and they're like, you know what? No, that's not it, actually. So the fact that we can maybe go in and place, we type in bouquet, right? Then, like you said, like you were doing with the staircase, we type in bouquet. We then have all of these bouquet images pop up. We will add them to that mood board so they can kind of see different bouquet styles, and then, we're not having to go into where we store all of our photos really, I feel like hunt and dig through all of the things. And like just like to find that perfect photo, we're able to kind of just do it in one click, essentially. Really saving us time, not doing it in minutes. It really is in like seconds. So it's just not as tedious anymore. It's not really like that multi-step process. It's type it in search bar, click on the ones that you want, and you can add them into Canva instead of downloading, searching, downloading, adding them into Canva again, and then, okay, going back to, all right, here's where we're at now. Let's add in each of these photos. So it just makes it a little easier.
Yeah, I love that you said it's actually seconds, not minutes, because I always say it only takes a few minutes, like 1 minute, but maybe I should start saying it only takes 2 seconds because you're right. It really only just takes a few seconds. And I saw Kathleen ask for a demo after maybe in a little bit I will show a demo exactly of how this works because I do think I'm visual too, and it's much easier to understand that you don't have to download, re-upload. It really is just so much easier than having to go from Google Drive, go through a million folders, download, re-upload, it's just such a whole thing. And Bella, how about you for on your side?
Yeah, I think for us, because I wear a lot of different hats in terms of on the marketing, but we also are marketing multiple venues. So just being able to easily change which venue we're looking at in PartySlate on Canva is really huge for us. We're able to really access those photos, grab whatever we need and be able to move on. We're not spending, hours trying to find this one specific photo. Not only are we using it for our venues in that way, but we also use it on social actually a lot when we're talking about trends that we're seeing in events. So I actually have one example if we do pull those up later that is focused on color trends. And so we were able to go in and pull up cherry red and then look at all these photos that have this red and weave it into a social post so that we're talking about what people are using right now, what's really in, what are you seeing? And so that's been really helpful for us to be able to just pull content that we can really engage with our audience and get them interested in, oh, maybe I want to do, red as my color, or maybe, I want to have a mocha mousse event and it's all, this really warm tan. So we use it in a lot of different ways. And I think it makes everything so accessible and so straightforward that it's really way more seamless for our team.
Why don't we, this is actually, I think, the perfect segue. If Bella, you want to screen share some of those examples, because I do think it'll be helpful for people to actually see what those Canva social media templates look like or the proposals. And so why don't we
Sure.
start off with having you screen share I love your example, the cherry
Yeah,
red.
I will show that. That's one of my favorite ones. I'm like, I just think it's so fun. And I think, so this is, hopefully everyone can see that. But just highlighting each of these slides was within a carousel on social media, on Instagram. So this one, like I said, is cherry red. So we were able to go through our photos, both on our On the Mark party slate, but also with our venues and then just looking at, what were we finding within our own albums that already existed, using content we already have to make more things to engage with our audience and get them talking about it. So and then we have, of course, the Mocha Mousse here. So we've got some of those happening. It's really great also with our photographers. We can credit everybody, make sure that, they're tagged in the posts. So that's one example. Do you want me to continue on or do you want me
Yeah.
to
Oh,
hold
Bella,
here?
I was gonna actually ask, maybe if you could pull up that Party Slate, the integration, just show people what you mean when you say that you can toggle between the different venues, and
Yes.
actually show what it looks like to do that search in here, because it is exactly like that experience that I showed in Party Slate Pro, except that it's literally right here in Canva. There's no uploading that you had to do. Like it was that 2 second
Mhm.
integration and everything just magically appeared.
So for us, like I was saying, the venues are really, really important for us in creating content that's for each venue, creating proposals for each venue. So we have within here all of the venues that we manage on Party Slate, which is just so great for our team. We're not having, like Madison was saying, to go download it, wait for it to download, find it in our downloads folder because I know that I get lost in there sometimes. I'm like, I don't even remember what I've downloaded. So, just having everything really easily accessible for us, pulling up different albums that we might want to use. Maybe if we're looking for mitzvah photos at Hudson Loft, one of our venues, that's right here for us to swap into a proposal or send to clients as examples or create social media posts. So it really comes in so layered for our team. And just the more we continue to use it, the easier we find it to be.
Yeah, and then that search bar that's right beneath Hudson Loft, that's
Mhm.
where you would be able to search for, I don't know, red or whatever it is that you're looking for. Or you can filter for
Yes.
mitzvah, for example, to actually filter
Mhm.
specifically for the event type that you're looking for, or a search term that matches whatever search it is that you're looking for. Do you want to choose?
Should I continue
Yeah,
on?
yeah, let's see them.
So within Canva, we also have created just fun visuals that we share. I can play this fun Thanksgiving one. This is a sneak peek. It has not gone live yet, so what a treat.
We saw it
But
here
just a
first.
visual to show off our food, to show off different things you can do during the holidays. And then the other example I have pulled up is just collateral that we would have for our sales team that shows all three of our New York City venues. So again, this is where Party Slate's integration comes in handy for us when we're talking about, oh, well, there's multiple venues that we could do in this city, and swap in photos and really just make it easy for our team to access all of these materials and assets.
This is awesome. I think I'm so visual, honestly. And so it is really helpful to just see these three different examples. And there's such different examples, whether it's for social media or your sales team actively using it. So thank you for sharing, Bella.
Of course. Let me.
And then Madison, I'd love to also see the templates that you've been working with. I know proposals is something that you do spend a lot of time in and that your team does too. Also, you're muted if you
I
have.
was like, I'm muted. Um, Let me share my screen. I pulled up a our events guide. It's a general guide that would be sent out to somebody right prior to booking and prior to sending over like an actual formal proposal. Are you able to see this?
Yeah, we are.
Okay. So, we kind of just make sure that we're really, like I was saying, I feel like for us, we're really big on like who we are as a brand, all of the visual storytelling that we put out there. We wanted to represent who we are. So this is just our very, basic service guide, touching on all the things that would be for full scale planning, partial planning. Um, and wedding management. And just how Bella was showing with um, the party slate integration there. Like every single one of these photos, we were able to pull from Party Slate instead of having to um, download them from their specific album and then having to re-upload them into Canva, which was really great, and it just made it really easy. um, so that's one thing we do. Another thing is this is just really simple, but this is are you able to see this one too? This is my
Yep.
email signature. I just figured I'd pull that up since it was really easy to do, right? We took some of our brand colors. This is the typography that we use pretty much for everything, our logo. So everything is pretty much like through and through on all the things that we do. Um, and then we have, this is just more of like a basic proposal where then we would be able to go in, right? Like there's that like that general thank you, but we always add more in. We would then put like the description of the wedding there. It's all very similar to like each document is very similar to one another, but they're all different in themselves. So then, this has every level of service that you could do, right? But then what we would do is then if they're only looking for something like a full scale planning, we would get rid of all the extra stuff from page 9 like down, right? And really take a look at any of the offerings within the package and then basically go in, highlight it, delete it, write more. It just really depends on like what you're doing and like what they're looking for. We also use it for a lot for style guides. I don't know why I didn't pull a style guide up, but style guides are one of the main things we do on here as well, when we're building a design for an event. So
Madison, if you don't mind, do you think you could pull up the PartySlate integration also on your Canva so that we can
yeah.
see it? And then maybe we could do a few search examples of, let's say you were doing a
Sure.
style guide, what
Mhm.
images you might want to pull for a style guide and just showing what,
Yeah, sure. Let me do it on this one because I feel like this one's a little easier to kind of pull from. Um, Make sure it pulls up. Here we go. It's at the bottom. Alrighty. So, on here, I mean, I typically just go right into here and will type in, I can do like I'll do centerpieces. Right. And kind of look at past ones. There's ones that are a little bit more abstract. There's ones that are a little bit more garden. So if I have a couple that is looking for something that feels a little bit more earthy, that feels just a little bit just more natural and whimsical, right? Like I might add in something like this to their overall, mood board so that they can see that. As we get a little bit more in depth with their overall design, right, then we start to utilize other tools that will like crop and paste and all the things. But for this purpose, right, like there's this photo. Maybe we could do something along the lines of, I feel like natural centerpieces. I don't know if anything will come up that way, but right, like there's trees, right? So it really, you're really able to then kind of just look for anything essentially, and it pops up right away. And I'm like, okay, great. Like that seems like it would be in line with what the couple might be looking for, and present it to them that way. Obviously in a nicer format, but for this purpose, just really showing the photos that we might pull up. But just like the little changes and the words that you put in there really can help you narrow down what someone might be looking for. So you can be super specific, you can be super general, but obviously the more specific you are, right, the better outcome that you'll get for a natural looking centerpiece.
I love it. It's cool to see, Madison, how it is that you're, searching and utilizing it and narrowing down the search. And all of it is AI powered. So it's not like you had to go in and tab, these are all
Mhm.
centerpieces. It's just AI looking, visually seeing the photo and knowing this is a
Mhm.
photo of a centerpiece, or this is a photo of a centerpiece that looks natural, for example.
Mhm. Yeah.
And so what you and also Bella, the two of you did is you got your photos into PartySlate. Maybe it was public for the public profile. Maybe it was private, just for private storage, because you don't want all 500 photos from that one event on your public profile. But once you got it into PartySlate, it just automatically goes into your Canva once you've integrated it.
Mhm. Yep. It's
Cool.
it's so
Thank
it's so easy. It really is.
I love it. Well, thank you both. Thank you, Madison and Bella, too, for sharing how it is that you're using Canva in your business and specifically also how you're using the PartySlate integration. Just to wrap up, I'm screen sharing QR code right now. If anyone on this call is interested in learning more about how you can utilize PartySlate to its fullest, or if you're having issues getting the Canva integration set up, feel free to just scan that QR code, leave your information. We'll make sure that we connect you with someone at PartySlate to help walk through how it is that you can really maximize your PartySlate profile with us. And if you are looking for those PartySlate recommended Canva templates, we'll also make sure to share those out as well. And thank you with that. Thank you so much, Madison. Thank you so much, Bella.
Thank you.
Feel so lucky to have gotten to spend this hour just picking your brains on all the different ways you're utilizing Canva.
Thank you so much. This was so fun.
It was fun. Thank you.
Thank you both, and thank you everyone for joining us.